As of right now, Hulk has had 7 appearances so far in the MCU, whether in a post-credit scene or the middle of everything smashing things. However, as time passes by, more and more focus is thrown to his cousin She-Hulk, but also towards Red Hulk, a very famous character from the comics. And today, we're going to talk about where he comes from, who he is, all the times when he almost made an appearance, and where we might see him make his debut in the future of the MCU. Introduction. If you thought a big green guy is very noticeable, you can imagine a red-looking one appearing on the big screen, and angrier while we are at that too. One of the most popular incarnations of the Hulk comes in red, the one who rampaged through Marvel's comics ever since the 2000s until the late 2010s. Sometimes a good guy, but more often than not, having less pure motives. Red Hulk has been part of many organizations in the red form, or the form of Bruce Banner's longtime enemy, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. The actor William Hurt played Ross ever since 2008's The Incredible Hulk movie, proving himself to be one of the very few stars of that film to reprise his role ever since. With every next appearance of William as Ross, the speculations of him turning into his alter ego, Red Hulk, have been rising. The potential is there, we just haven't seen him yet, despite all the rumors, speculations, and even the early plans of some of the filmmakers. Thus, the big question standing before us is whether we are going to see Red Hulk on the big screen. After all, he has been teased for quite some time with Thaddeus Ross's appearances on the big screen. Well, as it stands right now, we are not sure, but we have high hopes, just as all of you guys, of seeing the Big Red making his live-action debut. And there are reasons, so we should be hopeful. That, and the fact of what is coming up next in the MCU, we are more than certain that he will make his appearance, but at a much later stage of the MCU. Let's say not in the upcoming 3 to 4 years. As for who he is, well, that is a whole other story. First appearing in the 2008 New Hulk comic book volume, he had bright red skin and orange glowing eyes, a striking figure who grew in popularity very quickly. Unlike the Green Hulk, Red Hulk, or Rulk, as he has been referred to on some occasions, can absorb energy, increasing his strength beyond that of many other Marvel's most powerful heroes. In one of the first battles, he managed to sweep the floor with Iron Man, She-Hulk, Hulk, and Thor, among others. Can you imagine that? His identity was also kept a secret for almost 2 years, with many fans speculating that it was Doc Samson, Hulk's frenemy. It was not until 2010's Hulk issue 23 when it was revealed that the old soldier, Thaddeus Ross, made a deal with a group of brainy supervillains calling itself Intelligentsia to become the Red Hulk. He is eventually defeated by the first Hulk, Bruce Banner, when Ross invades the White House. In spite of his treason, Ross gets a shot at redemption when Steve Rogers recruits him to stop the group that created him, Intelligentsia, and its destructive plan codenamed Scorched Earth. After which, Red Hulk gets the opportunity to both play hero and villain on multiple occasions. Actor William Hurt is up for taking on the mantle of the Red Hulk, so that is a good thing to know. The fact that Hurt is interested in playing the role should lift a lot of spirits at Marvel Studios. Thus, at the very least, knowing that he has been part of the MCU for so long, despite their brief appearances, maybe Marvel Studios are planning something for the character? Probably him becoming a rampaging Hulk. Past possible appearances. Just by the topic alone, you can see that Red Hulk is somewhat destined to be part of the MCU. But after everything is taken into consideration, we can see that it is only a matter of time. Instead of just an assumption, William Hurt first reprised his role of Thaddeus Ross in 2016's Captain America: Civil War. This time, as Secretary of State promoted from an Army general, he is the one who gives the Avengers the Sokovia Accords. According to the Russo brothers, the Crimson Goliath was considered for the film, but sadly, he didn't make the cut, simply because there were already so many characters in the movie. And if the Red Hulk made an appearance, he would also need a backstory, of course. And there was simply no time for it, with the movie deviating from its narrative. Joe Russo added, other characters who were considered to appear in the movie were Wasp and Iron Spider, both of which eventually made their debut in the MCU. So there is hope for Red Hulk too. Red Hulk was close to appearing in the movie that ended the Infinity Saga, Avengers Endgame. But the main reason for him not being part of it was the character not fitting the source material from the comics, and the thought behind it. Professor Hulk turning red for some reason. We will be talking for everyone that this smart decision was to escape the whole idea. In one of the latest movies from Marvel, Black Widow, Thaddeus Ross appears briefly and even provides some of the voiceovers, two elements that got fans speculating about the Red Hulk's debut. However, even that was not the case, and the entire movie went on without Ross becoming the Red Hulk. Possible appearances. In August 2019, the announcement came about one of the upcoming series on Disney+, She-Hulk, with the series following the adventures of Jennifer Walters, the cousin of Bruce Banner, making her debut. There is little to none said about the series, outside of the trailer we have, but it seems like it was enough to make fans believe that Red Hulk will also be a part of the series in one form or another. Red Hulk could be one of the different villains the series could introduce. However, it is still too early to say anything for certain, but there are reasons to think that Red Hulk would make a good fit. After all, She-Hulk is one of the first heroes Red Hulk fights in the comics, and without a Hulk solo movie or TV series on the horizon, the She-Hulk series seems like the most plausible chance for the debut of Red Hulk. One thing to consider is the budget. Knowing that Mark Ruffalo is involved, we can assume just how much CGI will be needed for the same show. Thus, maybe 3 Hulks is just too much. We will see when the series comes out. Thunderbolts. One of the biggest rumors when it comes to the MCU is that Red Hulk will be the one to introduce the new MCU team joining the big screen, the Thunderbolts. The team itself has had quite a few incarnations. Originally, Baron Zemo forms the group out of members of the Masters of Evil, with a plan to fool the world that they are heroes. Along the way, however, some of the members discover that they like being heroes, turning on him and continuing to be good guys. In 2013's Thunderbolts, the group looked different. Here, Ross brings together more violent, lethal heroes like himself, including the likes of Elektra, Punisher, Deadpool, and Venom, with the goal of the group being to deal with bad guys without any rules involved. The MCU's Thunderbolts, who are bound to appear sooner or later, seems like they will not take Ross's iteration of the team, just because the movies from the MCU have stayed decidedly family-friendly, and a whole team of savage superheroes would just ruin the narrative, don't you think? So if Red Hulk does help in the introduction of the Thunderbolts, it would go something along the lines of the original concept. Villains reformed, working together towards redemption, or eventually the MCU scraping everything and using the members of the Thunderbolts as a bunch of antagonists spoiling everything. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, where would you like to see Red Hulk make his debut as part of the MCU, and what do you expect of the character moving forward? And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.